Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another session of our Cyber Talks. My name is Tal Pavel, the host, and my true pleasure and honor today to have with us Miss Ljubica Pendaroska. Hello, Miss Pendaroska.
Hello,
Uh,
greetings from sunny Skopje, the capital of North Macedonia.
Thank you, thank you. Here it's gray and rainy. And Miss Pendaroska, she is the founder and president of Women for Cyber at North Macedonia. Um, and as well, Cybersecurity Europe Top 50 Women Influencer at 2019, Privacy and Data Protection Expert and Keynote Speaker. Ljubica Pendaroska is an award winner as Cybersecurity Top 50 Women of Influence Europe 2019, Privacy and Data Protection Expert and International Keynote Speaker. She is founder and president of Women for Cyber North Macedonia, as mentioned, which operates under the trademark of Women for Cyber Foundation Brussels, directly launched by European Cyber Security Organization. Ubica is committed to promoting profound women's participation in the complex cybersecurity challenges. Following that spirit, she grew up professionally with more than 12 years of experience in privacy and data protection and served in executive positions at several cybersecurity consultancies as well as in the telecommunication industry. In addition to her expertise role in UNICEF and in wide spectrum of EU and NATO programs, she is co-founder of Cybersecurity Corporate Security and Crisis Management Initiative at Skopje, member of presidency of Euro-Atlantic Council, program director of Marshall Center Security Forum, official representative of the NATO Memorial Federation, and vice president of the Adriatic Council. She served as special advisor to the Minister of Foreign Affairs for 2 years. In addition, Ms. Pendaroska holds the highest credentials in privacy as being Certified Information Privacy Professional Europe, International Association of Privacy Professionals. Ms. Pendaroska, you are a very gifted and talented and experienced person. And once again, it's my true privilege and honor to have you with us today. And as you mentioned, it will be a talk, a chat, conversation with the title of The Two Sides of Cybercoin. Why the cyber world needs women and why we women need to be on board. Ms. Pendaroska, the floor is yours.
Thank you, dear Tol. Once again, sunny greetings from Skopje. And to start our today talks in a positive manner, but not in a positive in a way, unfortunately, we live during this last year, but really with positive vibes. I would say listening what you already say about me, about my career path, I already feel a bit older than I am, but but yes, I confirm it is all truth. so
Indeed.
so it gives a rise to my voice and credentials to talk about today's topic. But before I start, as you said, talking about the two sides of the cyber coin, let me express my sincere gratitude to the organizer of Cyber Talks for giving me the opportunity to be part of this, I would say, very valuable event, and that would even become more and more valuable each day, having in mind that we are living in this virtual era, and especially in times of pandemics as this one, the health one, we are even more aware how important is to be aware about the risks and also the opportunities standing on the side of digital environment. So that's why I thank you. Thanks once again to Cybero and especially to its director, Mr. Pavel, my friend, for giving me the opportunity to talk about so-called female dimensions of cybersecurity.
My
It's
pleasure and
even
honor is mine, of course. Mine, of
Thank you
course.
once again. It's even a bigger privilege for me to talk about this topic. First of all, because as you said, I launched the National Women for Cyber chapter, which main mission is actually to work on a cybersecurity gender gap existing now, in order to get to a position, first of all, to build cybersecurity environment on the basis of equity as a prerequisite for equality, because at the end what we fight for is to build a gender neutral cyber security environment in which all of us individuals interested in the area would not face any gender biases, any gender barriers, or any gender obstacles. It's even more important to talk about the topic, having in mind that we are approaching this year's International Women's Day celebration, which leading motto is change to choose, choose to change. So I will proceed my presentation actually led by that motto, but also led by my personal motto, which I follow all these years. It's inspire and let yourself be inspired, because it wasn't an accident for me to get in the cybersecurity area, but I was enough inspired by other women, which during my career path inspired me and motivated me to get my results in career path in cybersecurity. First of, when we are talking about two sides of the cyber coin, I would say first of all we need to concentrate on three main points or three main questions. The first one, it's not a historical one, but it's one which we lived in the decades and even now. The first one is what was preventing women from pursuing a career in the industry, in cybersecurity industry. The second one is why diversity, talking about gender diversity in cybersecurity areas, education and professions matters. And finally, how the cybersecurity industry or area should address the gender gap in order to make a difference. When I say in order to make a difference, that means first of all to improve the situation on the ground, then to get an incentive and motive to women to get more involved in cybersecurity in order their talent, their knowledge and skills to be put it in a position to get a positive impact for the society as a whole. And of course, what would be the benefits for the general public, for the society as a whole, but also for the humanity, with having more women on board in cybersecurity. But let's start with some issues or some very important points as a starting position. First of all, I'm not that much prone to talking in statistics or numbers, but sometimes we need it in order to illustrate the situation in the best way. We as humans are prone to believe more in numbers sometimes than in statistics, than in qualitative data. And that's why I will mention some world statistic from cybersecurity environment. According to those recent, the research is done in the last 4 to 5 years and comparing results, it is evident that there's a huge gap between two genders, women and men represented in cybersecurity, both education and professions. Talking in numbers, and compare the results from recent years, the whole potential or quantity of women involved in cybersecurity professions is ranging from 13 to 24, the most percentage. But it depends on the methodology used, whether we use so-called traditional methodology concerning only so-called traditional cybersecurity areas or professions. And it depends for which part of the world we are talking about, because as we are all more or less aware, the situation is different. For example, if we compare US, where there is a much higher percentage of women involved in various cybersecurity professions, while the situation with women in cybersecurity in Europe is lower. It is important also to mention one more statistic data, saying that not only the total number of women involved in cybersecurity professions is much lower than 24%, as I mentioned, but is also important to say that the percentage of women posted on a position, a high executive and decision-making positions in cybersecurity profession is even lower than this one, which means that results only also in paying women being paid less than men for the same position, for doing the same job and with the same qualifications. But what we also should have in mind when talking about women in cybersecurity professions and education is that the things compared to a few years ago are getting better, and female representation in the industry is progressing. It is going in the right direction, however slowly, but it's moving in the right direction. So we can expect, if we work properly enough and enough in provide enhancing the position of women in cybersecurity, then we can expect positive movements forward in the years to come. Also, it is evident that female representation in the industry is relatively static, and that's what's concerning me the most, because the digital world, the world of cybersecurity and computing and exchange of information is moving so fast that we shouldn't even compare this year with the previous one, which means we are facing with a lot of change, rapid change each month by month. And saying that female representation in the industry is relatively static means that we are not progressing with the same pace in step with what is going on with global cybersecurity scene. What about awareness about women in cybersecurity and gender diversity? Awareness around gender diversity in cybersecurity has certainly improved, and it's a result of, first of all, direct involvement of some so-called women organization taking care with various actions to improve the situation and to try to get all those positive impacts and benefits of more women in cybersecurity to the general audience. But of course, awareness doesn't always equate to action and change, which is showing that it's not enough to improve the awareness among women themselves, but also among general public, among institutions, international organizations dealing with cybersecurity, about the importance of improving the representation of women in cybersecurity. But what we need to do more is, first of all, to motivate and to inspire by example, by role models especially, and by mentorship programs, more women and young girls as well to get involved in a different way in cybersecurity, and to provoke the general action by the society as a whole, by relevant and prominent actors in the society, state institutions, non-state institutions, and international community, to action for change. So, first of all, we need to, in order to get more results and in a way, to channel our message towards the public in a right way, so to get the results, first of all, we need to identify the root causes, what are the main obstacles and barriers, which in most of the cases were a reason and prevent women for starting cybersecurity career path. I would say that those obstacles or barriers are vivid at different stages of or phases in women's life, and they all have different characters. So that means that we should work in a different manner we should have a different approach towards different stages of women's life in order to get more results and more women and girls involved in cybersecurity. Some of them have so-called educational root causes. Some of them are related to cybersecurity professional life of women. Some of those obstacles are of social or institutional character. What I mean when saying that some of them are of social or institutional character, first of all, I'm thinking about different kind of gender stereotypes, which are having their roots even in early school age, and they are identified in most of the researches as the biggest barrier to increasing gender diversity. I will come later to what's the importance of having divergent gender diverse cybersecurity community. Then one of those obstacles is the perception of cybersecurity industry as a result of how it is marketed to the general public, to the not only to the general public, especially to prospect girls and women, which are in this this age of their career and professional path, when they are deciding whether to proceed with cybersecurity career or not, or to get out of it. Also, the social image built about the professionals working in the field of cybersecurity. During one interview, I was asked how I see women in cybersecurity, and I made a joke saying that unfortunately, women have so-called twisted image about what cybersecurity role to be a cybersecurity professional really means. Because when you say, how do you imagine the face of someone working in cybersecurity, then usually it's a man with glasses and sitting in front of some geek or I was a nerd. That's the image, social image, and someone working all the day in front of several monitors, making applications, software, etc. So that's one of the points where we should work on to build to change the social image, especially among women, how we see cybersecurity professions. When it comes to development of already initiated cybersecurity career, more women than men claim in most of the cases they have experienced some kind of institutional barriers, which are usually the direct result of a built male-oriented culture in cybersecurity sphere from early ages. All those are social barriers, which I'm sure that most of us women working in cybersecurity have faced more or less in some way especially during their educational age. For instance, the culture in cybersecurity plays an important role in provoking, first of all, male domination in higher education, in computer science, in STEAM sciences in general, but especially in computer science. Because we all know that in most of the cases, in most of the faculties, male faculty members are dominating computer science and in STEAM sciences. And that's the reason female students, which because of their female characteristic, are more for female students. It's more important to have to identify with the community. And in that case, when they're having more faculty members, female students have limited guidance and mentoring opportunities, which means that female students have a different seeing perspective from male students when it comes to guidance opportunities and mentorship and mentorship programs. Women also have less opportunity, as I said here, than men to build mentor-mentee relationships because of the lower number of women mentors in all these institutions. Also, what's important is that when we are talking about women in cybersecurity profession, during their career, and especially in this age range starting from 30 to 45 years, when actually we should be the most productive in our career. Women are facing the situation when they need to balance more between home and career, because that's the age when women are raising children, they are taking care about their children. Most of the work in house and most of the household activities are related to women. So that's why professional women in cybersecurity are more exposed to this need to balance between home and career. And that's why this is the age when they usually came out from cybersecurity professions. Some of the challenges and obstacles in cybersecurity are of personal character. For example, personal factors, which can include educational background of women, personality traits, their interests and abilities. Then build a gender identity and in which jobs there are jobs which are mostly perceived as feminine versus jobs which are seen as masculine. Self-efficacy in this case, women are more tend to believe in their ability, disbelief in their ability to accomplish a task. And there is a gap in interest in math and science between girls and boys, which reversely contributes to gender disparity in STEAM disciplines. And we all know that STEAM disciplines, especially computer sciences and information sciences, are the basis, the pool from where most of the cybersecurity professions are fitted, and most of the professionals have STEAM and computer background, educational background. Talking about women in cybersecurity also means that we must share our thoughts about the very prominent and I would say important role of the employers, the employment agencies and different kinds of employers, and media as well when it comes to women in cybersecurity. Why? First of all, because we should ask ourselves, are women presented with cybersecurity as a career option at all? Among other, women are disinterested in the cybersecurity industry because there is the kind of a lack of information about career opportunities. Someone could ask very legitimately how that's possible, having in mind that we men and women both have equal touch with those job advertisement, etc. But that doesn't make us equal in the way we see our perception and our feeling of what those job advertisement means to us. What I mean with that? I mean that first of all, the language which is used by those advertisement about employers in cybersecurity profession is most dominantly gender biased, which means that it is the language which is used is mostly masculine. Then the way, the approach of and all those skills and knowledge ask, usually employers are prone to number a lot of skills and and knowledge that one prospect candidate should have in order to apply or to be chosen for the position. And that's what one of the obstacles which make female candidates to feel that they are not they don't have ability to succeed in the areas. So in terms of the role that employers have in this respect, the challenging question which still remains even nowadays is, are the employers very truly actively interested in hiring women talent for cybersecurity jobs? So-called recruitment challenges, the way, and as I said, the way and the language, the job descriptions are written, then Usually when there is an interview for some post in cybersecurity company, in cybersecurity industry, having in mind that most of the already employees, professionals in the company are male, it happens very often that all of the interviewers in the interview commission are men. So it's a kind of intimidating for women candidates. So it is my a kind of open call, very with a positive background to all the companies to try to have, if they have for job advertisement during the recruitment process, to have some female interviewer during the job interviews. That would make a very better position for women. It is worth also mentioning that some of cybersecurity barriers for women are related to their early career, but some divided on those which are related to training and those which are related to work environment. Among those which are related to training and knowledge, I could number only few right now because of the time's sake. A lack of knowledge about how to practically apply technology in business situations. A lot of researchers have actually indicated that women lack those kind of skills in order how to be successful in applying technology in business solutions, and insufficient exposure to teamwork collaboration. And the second one, I mentioned those barriers which are related to work environment. Results differentiated IT job skills and cybersecurity specific skills for early and mid-advanced career levels. I will concentrate on the barriers because we will not have time for discussing why cybersecurity needs more women. That's why I'm jumping in right now in why cybersecurity needs more women. I would say here that when I'm talking about gender disparity, and in terms, and always starting from a position not as a feminist, but from a position to get really to get to a situation where it won't be important whether you're female or male candidate, which means gender neutral cybersecurity environment. First of all, we need to see this question not as a gender question, not as a question for ticking boxes and saying we have that and that percentage of women active in cybersecurity, but to see it as an opportunity to use any potential from that pool of women that all skills all skills and knowledge, certificates and competitiveness they have within in order to improve the whole cybersecurity environment. And that's why we must, each time when we talk about women in cybersecurity, present it not as a question of numbers, but as a question, as a quality matters, which means to say what will more women in cybersecurity benefit the benefit for the whole society for having more women in cybersecurity. Having in mind that we are working, as you said, Tal, more than a year virtually, and I'm sure as the situation with the COVID-19 is still here and it's not improving that fast as we want to, in the years, I would say that using virtual tools and different kind of applications for virtual meeting and working as well, is even more of a proof that we'll need more women on cyberboard. So what are the benefits? The dramatic gender imbalance in representation, but also in leadership, creates barriers for entry to young women, which have a hope of joining the industry, who may be deterred from applying for jobs or different kind of internship, because first of all, they don't see people like them among the ranks. That's why, having in mind that not enough was done to close the gender gap, And most of women which are involved in different kind of researches uh, approve and believe that the progress which was made, which has been made, is not enough, still is not enough. Uh, we we should have in mind one more thing, that our virtual world is becoming more vulnerable, more exposed to different kind of cyber threats and cyber attacks each day. And that's we have a picture that cybersecurity world, it's a kind of world that is going almost to explode. That's why having in mind the cybersecurity industries facing a different kind of severe shortage of skill and qualified talents. Let's say a few numbers. It is according to some estimates, the cybersecurity industry this year, 2021, will have over 3.5 million open positions worldwide. So the first question is, how is cyber industry going to fill this gap of a very serious, huge gap of cyber talented and qualified, skilled cybersecurity professionals if is not starting to look at the women's cybersecurity pool? Uh, we know that diversity is important to all industries. Why? First of all, because it encourages culture where different divergent opinions, different divergent characteristics and ideas are going to build an amalgam. I'm always trying to use the word amalgam because it shows that we need to put male and female characteristics and those characteristics which are inherent to our nature as persons, as men and women, to get in touch and to get amalgam in order to produce the best possible results, to produce the best possible ideas. Which means that diversity brings to different innovative solutions to solve, giving the opportunity to solve some of the toughest problem which we are facing as a community, as a humanity, we are facing nowadays. It is proven, of course, that when we are mixed, there is going to be a more creativity and talent. And it is well known that men and women see the same thing from different angles, from different perspectives, which means that facing the cyber attacks, the cyber threats, and all of these risks in cyber community, women will attack problems from different angle, from different perspective, and thus giving different solutions from the same problems. And that should build a complementary picture. The whole picture should be complementary. Many women are very detail-oriented and can multi-process. We all know that women are known for multi-processing, doing few things at the same time. So maybe that's one of the pieces in the puzzle which is important for cybersecurity. It is inherent to women's nature more than to men's nature to build different kind of partnerships, to build different kind of selecting partner organizations to develop secure softwares, hardwares, and women differently assess partners' ability to meet contractual obligations than men. I'm never saying better or worse, but I'm always saying different, which is the right word. We need the differences to get in together for better results. Increasing, this is very important to mention, increasing women's participation in cybersecurity is also, as I said, not a gender issue. The gender is just one of the aspects or dimensions, but involvement of more women in cybersecurity profession is a business issue as well. Because if we're having in mind, for instance, the statistics of women startup initiators in digital world, dealing with digital issues, it is shown that although there is the number of women which initiated startup businesses in digital matters is much lower than men, still the results they obtained and in numbers, in business numbers, in economic numbers, in finance, are much higher and bigger than those startups which were created by men. And that's why we need more women in cybersecurity. And I'm not sure how much time I have to the end.
It's okay, you have.
Okay.
Feel free.
Okay, so I'm not going to skip something which
Of
I
course.
find it important to mention. Um, as I said during this talk, the societal view is that built through the years and still vivid in our everyday lives is that internet security is a job that men do, although there is nothing inherent to prove it that gender, being a man or women, predisposes men to be more interested in or more adept in at cybersecurity compared to women. Boosting women's involvement in information security makes both security and business sense. Uh, it is well known that female leaders in in these areas, in cybersecurity areas, tend to prioritize important areas that males often overlook. This is partially due to their background, because more or less it is known that most of women which are involved in cybersecurity have non-technical backgrounds. Most of them are appointed on non-technical executive positions. Most of women are positioned on those uh, decision-making positions which are related mostly to management or to human resources, and not that much to to so-called technical cybersecurity positions. So, to wrap it up, this part of my talk, it is also known that female internet security professionals themselves put a high priority on internal training and education in security and risk manager. And according to some estimates, women are also much stronger advocates for online training, which is a flexible, which is a low-cost way. Again, speaking in business terms now, why it is important to have more women in cybersecurity. And they have, if we go back to this need of women to obtain a balance between career and home life, private life, then women are more tend to ask for work from home, which is nowadays is very active. And because that way, and they're also prone more to outsourcing work, which is very important to mention about, especially having in mind my country as well, which are not, which are countries in development countries with a low economy rate of development. So it's very important to mention in that spirit why we need more women in cybersecurity professions. So let's say a few words about, on the other side, why we women should be on board. Which are the benefits for women themselves for being on board, and how to make cybersecurity more motivating and more challenging for women to think themselves more to get involved in cybersecurity. First of all, according to a lot of researches, having in mind women characteristics, inherent natural characteristics, women are used to more to ask about security. And for women, it's very important to feel safe. And that's why job security is high on the scale of priorities of women when it comes to choosing their career path. So if job security is one of the priorities, and job security and safety is one of the priorities, then cybersecurity, it's a real profession for women. Why? First of all, because the unemployment percentage, the unemployment rate of cybersecurity professionals is very low. There are even countries where it is 0% of cybersecurity professionals unemployed. Also, having in mind that cyber attacks aren't going away anytime in the foreseeable future, then job security and cybersecurity is more than guaranteed and strong. Second, high payment. If I'm getting this in correlation with asking for feel secure and stable in career, in your job post. When we get those two things together, having in mind the high payment, then we'll have a lot of to provoke women with. Professions, those professions who possess advanced cybersecurity skills and knowledge in a seller's market are very well always among those which are the highest paid in their professions. But I'm not talking about the salary, about the regular payment, but also I'm talking about various other benefits in financial terms and also in individual development terms when it comes to cybersecurity professions. And I'm not going to number all those cybersecurity professionals which are among most paid, but I will name only few top paying cybersecurity jobs as an incentive for women. Chief Information Security Officer, Cybersecurity Sales Engineer, Penetration Tester, Lead Software Security Engineer, etc. What about scholarships and incentives for women? As a result of the gender gap in cybersecurity and underrepresentation of girls and women in cybersecurity, a lot of movements and organization have been built and active all these years. So they are truly helping to improve the situation on the ground by offering different kinds of scholarship, different kinds of mentorships programs, which I will mention later, are very important for improving the situation on the ground. There are a lot of other kind of programs which are promoting attractive ways how to not only get more women in cybersecurity, but to make them more competitive on the job market ground. Then, the low representation of women in internet security is linked to the broader problem of, as I said, of low representation in the science, technology, engineer, and mathematics field. Of course, I said there are differences between different parts of the world. So that's why we should always, when we talk about cybersecurity matters and female dimension, to say very in practical terms what we need exactly to do and in what areas we need to focus in order to produce better results. Because as I said, and as we are all aware of, we'll need time to improve the situation, but going step by step and identifying the right areas and the right way how to tackle the problem and how to work on is I would say it's crucial. So, which are the areas that needed to be focused on more? First of all, as you heard, I started the presentation with. I started my talk with presenting what are those societal challenges and barriers for women, and I mentioned as the first one which one is related to educational age of women. That's why the first area to work on is always in education, in order to getting in a way to get the right messaging to children at school age. I won't go in details, but I would say it's first of all important to start, of course, with relevant actions and activities from school age, from primary, from secondary education, which can go parallel with uh, developing digital skills and digital culture and digital literacy of children, and to put the messaging at children in the right way and through the right channels. Then we should work on awareness. It's never enough awareness, no matter how much you work on. Which means it is important the way how to promote the industry, to find the right way how to promote the cybersecurity industry to women, and to get the messaging right in doing so. Which means it's not enough only to undertake activities in order to get cybersecurity professionals and education closer to women, but also to find the right way, the right language, and the right approach in general, how to send the messaging to promote the industry to women. We should work on more on perceptions, and having in mind the consideration into the way we market the cyber industry. And inspiration, we need even more inspiration, which means raising the profile of successful women working in the industry and sharing some positive history examples. We need even more support, and that's where I see the importance and role of female ambassadors, female mentors, female role models. And finally, trying to institutionally and systematically remove barriers for entry, first of all, for women. Because when I talk with some male colleagues, and we are facing with some of the these barriers in cybersecurity, uh, I'm aware that most of those obstacles are not created by men themselves. They are result of a long process. They are result of multi factors put it together in a long period of time, and sometimes we are not even aware that's happening. And because we are seeing only the surface of the things, it all seems equal. It all seems that we are all in the same equal position. But if we dive deeper, then we will see the differences and what we need to do. So finally, what is on the priority to do list? I mentioned the areas, and then I will mention what we need to do. First of all, school level encouragement of for girls to study in STEAM disciplines, and especially emphasizing the computer science, because uh, all we are having in mind that although having in mind that cybersecurity is multidimensional and a it has different dimensions. You can explore it or work in it from legal, societal, technical, non-technical point of view, psychological even point of view. But it's a fact that the basis of cybersecurity are in most of the cases related to computer science, to information science, and we need more cybersecurity computer skills. We need more computer and digital skills and knowledge in order to be more competitive when it comes to cybersecurity. So how we can do that? For instance, by purposely involving teachers and parents, by initiating different kinds of clubs in the schools, for example, coding clubs, extracurriculum, STEM clubs, etc. Then we need to improve visibility of female role models, including more female-specific awards and events. And I applaud to those events, although someone would say that it's not a good idea to put women aside and men in a separate event. But I would say my experience, personal experience working in privacy and data protection, which is known as cybersecurity part, where women are very well represented compared to other cybersecurity professions. My impression is that we are lacking female role models and mentors arising from those female models to guide girls and women through their career path towards cybersecurity. So teachers should have a role in using more female examples from history, talking about historical role that women have, then inviting prominent women from cybersecurity industry to be part of the education process. Then using ex-students, female students to visit the school and share their success in cybersecurity, etc. Then third, we need to challenge the perception of industry and perceive gender-specific roles, which means promoting female role models should contribute to further challenging and changing the societal perception of the industry, of cybersecurity industry. And there are different kinds of actions that could help to change perception, among which, for instance, more pooling of female roles in academia and industry, then promote and give a platform to female industry leaders, etc. Then industry-wide female mentoring and coaching. I will finish my presentation purposely with this activity. Why? Because as I said, there is a huge lack of female mentors and coaches in cybersecurity industry at different levels and at different areas. And that's why we should take care, and among others, the organization which I'm leading and which I'm part of, Women for Cyber. North Macedonia is a part of Women for Cyber for Brussels. So one of the core and most relevant activities is to build mentorship program in order to most successfully guide young women, girls, and women through their career path. I will finish my presentation here. Hope it was very valuable and interesting to hear about. With my motto, inspire and let yourself be inspired. So thank you to all once again for the opportunity to talk about.
Thank you very much, Ljubica, for this very interesting. It's not only a presentation, but you shed a light on so much important topic that it's not relate only to the cyberspace, but to the basic nature of our society and quality and equality. Um, and with your permission, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Sure.
First of all, you mentioned your blessed and so important activity of a Woman for Southern North Macedonia for the benefit of the society and especially the women in North Macedonia, to promote them into take a much active part in the IT and cyber industry in North Macedonia. Can you please elaborate on North Macedonian subspace and the role of the woman, which means, can you share, perhaps open, a window to the cyberspace, the North Macedonian cyberspace, and the role of the woman in this industry, not only as industry, it's also in academic life and governmental activities.
Thank you for the question, Tal. Actually, that's your question, and actually the answer to this question is one of the main reasons I decided to launch Women for Cyber North Macedonia initiatives and to work on all those all the to improvement of the situation on the ground for women in cybersecurity education and cybersecurity professions in North Macedonia. First of all, I'd like to say that having in mind the legislation on the ground, our legislation, the legislation of North Macedonia, overall is very aligned. I would say more or less similar with the European legislation when it comes to cybersecurity professions, and also when it comes to equality of women on a paper, as I would say. So that means that we are not facing with some legislation obstacles, barriers, or challenges. But the situation on the ground, having in mind the factors as barriers that I already mentioned, are here. And we are not different from other parts, more or less from other parts of Europe, if we compare to Europe, because we are part of Europe. We are facing the situation which is with the underrepresentation, but I must say that till now we don't have numbers, because till now there was no quantitative or qualitative analysis showing the numbers of how many women are overall involved in cybersecurity and in education. Right now, actually, we are working, our organization is working on this qualitative and quantitative analysis. And as a result of that analysis, we will have all those qualitative and quantitative indicators about the situation on the ground. But not also, the numbers are not the only important thing. It's more important that we will have, first of all, the database of those women. So that would be a good ground to start to identify first the community. And then that would be a good starting point to link the community, because it's very important for women nowadays. I'm having a lot of conversations initiated by other women involved in cybersecurity in Macedonia. They're writing me all the time when they hear about the existence of our organization. They are very interested, and when I'm asking the question, since they're working in cybersecurity professions, do they know more women in cybersecurity from North Macedonia to be involved in the activities? We are always facing the same answer. I know only few, which is showing why we need to identify the community, that way to link the community and to work to find out, first of all, what are the exact existing skills and knowledge in cybersecurity which our female potential have. And that would be a ground what we need to do in concrete terms, what concrete skills and knowledge we should work on through a mentorship program and through different kinds of training program for entry, upskilling and reskilling of women in cybersecurity we need to work on. That means that's the situation on the ground, and I would surely share with you our results. It would be an interesting to see also compared to other European countries. It was a real privilege also for us when it comes to women in cybersecurity in North Macedonia. It was actually a privilege to become a part of Women for Cyber Foundation, having in mind that we are not still a member of the European Union. And the fact that we individually, few of us were successful and have positive results working in cybersecurity in Europe gives us a reason more to work harder on involving more women in cybersecurity in our country. But I would say from the situation on the ground that I know is when it comes to girls, female students involved in cybersecurity education, then the situation is very equal compared. It's interesting that most of the students enrolled in cybersecurity faculties and cybersecurity educational programs, the girls are very much are almost equally involved with men, men, but the situation is different when it comes to cybersecurity professions, because even here women are more prone to come out from cybersecurity career during the career path, because they're facing the difficulty, long hours of work when it comes to some cyber attack or some cyber threat. So that's a reason more to work more to make changes for a better.
Indeed. And you mentioned your blessed activity and most important. Um, is there any nation state initiative? I mean, whether governmental institution or corporates um, or that Women for Cyber North Macedonia is the vanguard of promoting women into the IT and cyberspace? Are there other initiatives in this important domain, governmental, academic?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, when we were exploring, since I work in privacy and data protection for more than 12 years, but I was not here in North Macedonia for all the time because I was working, as you said, in Geneva for UNICEF. Then I was working in Brussels, etc. I don't have the whole all day picture what was going on here. But in the last 3 years, I'm here and I'm facing the situation on the ground, and I have the opportunity to get closer what's going on. And before we started our Women for Cyber initiative here in North Macedonia, I was exploring a bit, and as you said, when you were representing me and my career path, you said that, well, I was one of the co-founders of cybersecurity, corporate security, and crisis management initiatives. Which was funded in 2015, and actually in the days when it was funded, it was one of the first organizations, non-governmental, organizations here, which were concentrated solely on cybersecurity dimensions. And talking about women in cybersecurity, I would say that I found out that we in North Macedonia, Women for Cyber Foundation, is the only one, which is, there are a lot of women organizations dealing with women matters. But when it comes to the role, the involvement of women in cybersecurity, then Women for Cyber Foundation is the only one. And that's why the interest for our organization is, believe me, very huge here, especially to get the general public closer to the activities of our organization. As for the governmental activities, we are now trying actually the cybersecurity strategy for the next 4 years period, starting from 2022 to 2026. It's in ongoing process. And what we are working on now is to get involved directly as women in cyber, to get in preparing the strategy in order to get the better position for women in cybersecurity as an active role. Digital Europe, which is part of the digital agenda coming from Brussels, from the European Union, is also ongoing here. And but for right now, as I know, as far as I know, women in cybersecurity are not they are not a special part of Digital Europe agenda within the country, but we are trying, by promoting our role and by our activities, to get part of it. And one more thing, during the International Women's Day next Monday, I'm going to promote one personal campaign, I would say, but of course, Women for Cyber Foundation and our Women for Cyber North Macedonia is standing behind. It's in order to provoke more women to be involved in panels. I will support the European Union campaign, No Women, No Panel, which means that I will try to involve as much women speakers at the event by not getting, but by getting my speeches only to events where women are involved, which means one more, besides me, one more women speaker or whatever panelist to be.
Very important. Yeah, very important indeed. Very important initiative. Well, I wrote down at least two more questions, but thank you for your time and willingness. And um, valuable information that you share with us, and most of all, these so important initiatives and enthusiasm and your devotion and your activity. Um, and I like to thank you once again, Ms. Ljubica Pendaroska, founder and president of Women for Cyber North Macedonia, for joining us and being part of Cyber Talks. And I would like to wish you a good luck and in this important path and initiative um, for the women of North Macedonia and for the society and the community of North Macedonia and for the entire humankind as well, because it's such an important initiative that everyone should take part and work wherever they want, and in this case, in the cyber domain as well, for the benefit of every human being as and state as well. Thank you so much, Ms. Pendaroska, for this very interesting and enlightening presentation and speech. Thank you very much. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Mr. Pavel, for the opportunity. We are open for further cooperation, and I'll be very glad to share further our ideas and thoughts. Thank you once again, and stay in good health.
Thank you, Ljubica.